So let's go through what you can expect for today. Okay. Here's the course outline. The way I've laid out the course outline is I've basically established 7 topical problems with email, and how I'm going to talk about the solution to those. Okay. So the first one we're going to talk about is this concept of the myth of multitasking. Okay. Which, if that sounds a little confusing, don't worry, I'll explain it. But that's the deal. We're going to talk about multitasking is a myth. I know this is really upsetting to most of you because you're all excellent multitaskers. And so the solution to that is employing a strategy called aligning your work. The next thing we're going to talk about is email overload. And we're just going to really describe that, break that down, get clear on that. And we're going to see that the solution to email overload is integrating a practice called email processing. And then further to that, we're then going to talk about the runaway inbox. And I heard some people mentioning that, right? So, here's my rule of thumb. Can you scroll past the first screen of your inbox? So if you're looking at your inbox, you're seeing some message in your inbox, can you scroll the mouse and there's still messages coming up? Ideally, either you get insane amounts of email a day, or you've started to let your inbox run away. And the problem with doing that is, as soon as emails drop off the bottom of the screen, they slip into that out of sight, out of mind zone. And then if you just let a couple emails a day kind of slip into that, and then you times that by 310 work days a year, all of a sudden you've got 1,000 email messages in your inbox that it's like, yeah, I've been meaning to do something about that, right? It's subtle. So we're just going to talk about that concept. And then what we're going to get into is this is sort of one of my core email techniques, which is establishing what I call processing folders. There's different ways to do that. That's my main technique. We'll talk about it. Remember, this is all about giving you ideas and then you adapting them to what works for you. The next thing we're going to look at is what I call drinking from a fire hose. Have you ever heard that expression?
Yeah. Can
you imagine trying to drink from a fire hose? Yeah, okay. So if you think about it, who has your email address?
Too many people.
I mean, you probably don't even know, right? And most of us, the email address is on the web somewhere. If they need to look it up, some company directory. If you actually own your own business, your email address is right there on the website. So that means theoretically everyone in the world has your email address. And so anyone can email you at any time they want. They can email you as many times as they want. And so really your inbox is the bucket that is being fed by a giant fire hose of information. And so we're going to examine the concept of that when you just treat your inbox like it's just an already prioritized list of things to do, you're trying to drink from a fire hose. Really, inside that fire hose are some really good nutrients that are coming in with that water. Those are the ones you really want to be pulling out. The rest of that stuff you're happy to siphon into a bucket for later. But most of us use email where we're just drinking the whole fire hose, hoping we get some of the stuff that we need, right? That's the image that I'm trying to get across. So we're going to look, one of the ways, there's a number of ways to address that, but one of them is there's actual automation techniques that you can use with email to actually siphon off a lot of that stuff that you don't need to see right away. And so you can decrease the size of that feed that's coming over email. Trust me, it'll make your world a better place when it comes to email. This was the topic that Cindy, that I talked about in relation to the problem is other people. But what we are going to discuss is how, without you realizing it, the way you email is training other people how to email you. That's just how it is. The way you email your customers trains your customers how to email you. The way you email your colleagues, your coworkers, your boss, trains them how to email you back. So I want to take you through and examine that. And if you have complaints about how people email you, you probably don't realize there are actually some strategies you can employ to start subtly maybe affecting that, changing that. And then the last one we're going to look at is another common complaint. There's just not enough time in the day to deal with all my email and everything else, right? So what I'll get into there is actual efficiency strategies I know of and have developed over the years. Just a number that would sort of be that. A lot of that's going to be the tips and tricks kind of section, right? And then I'll finish the day on the final topic, which is just this topic of, okay, I just get too much email. Like just, that's a common complaint, right? Like I just get too much. And then we'll actually talk about strategies, how you can legitimately reduce the amount of email you get. There are strategies you can use. And there you go, that's our outline. The last thing I'll say is the way I present is completely open to questions at any time. So at any point if we're going through, you want to ask a question, you want some clarification, whatever, just go ahead, put up a hand. There's times where I'm presenting and I'll give you like a nod and like 1 minute because I'm finishing a point, and then I'll come back to it for sure. Okay?